so we could hear the sounds and the wonder of the racetrack. And I'm starting to feel like we're almost getting to a newish normal.
It is. Look, we've had a tough 12 months with COVID, and to get the crowd back today, it feels a bit surreal. You know, like this time last year, there wasn't a person on the racecourse. We still went ahead with the race meetings, but so it's great to get the atmosphere and the people, and it's just so exciting.
I remember when the championships begun, and you must now look at these 2 weekends as a real success story of racing in this country.
Look, we always market it as the grand finals of Australian racing, and it really is that, because you know we've got every division, every distance, and it is a grand final, and it feels like that. And I don't think I've seen better quality fields in my whole time at Racing New South Wales. They are just, you know, full of class, every single race.
And the prize money, often we will say the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker can get involved at an ownership level, and they just dead set can't they? And the prize money is there for people to have their racing dreams come true.
Absolutely, and that's probably best seen by the country championships. $150,000 heats in every region, and then the $500,000 final here today, and then next week we have the provincials at $150,000 per race in the provincial areas, and then the $500,000. So it's a bit for everybody. It's not just for the metropolitan trainers, it's for everyone in New South Wales.
And we also mentioned how it was good to go through the whole COVID period and not stop racing. I'd love to get your thoughts on this, because expanding it to the point, because it's kept a lot of people employed. And I'm not saying, you know, all the stars of the industry, people at every single level in rural parts of this state and elsewhere.
You're 100% correct. Racing employs 50,000 people directly or indirectly just in New South Wales alone. And we learned a lot from equine influenza, 10 years ago about biosecurity protocols. So we were sort of half ready for something like this. But all the credit's got to go to the participants, because you can have the best protocols in the world, you can have the best measures, but if they don't abide by them, infection would happen and then you close down. But the participants were professional, they were conscientious, and they abided by every protocol conscientiously, and that's why we were able to continue to race.
Having worked on lots of sports over the past 3 decades, I've got closer to this industry, and one of the things I really love is its collegiate nature. There's a certain sense of wonder about horse racing that's not in every sport.
We always regard it as a big family, and that's what it feels like. You're a part of a massive, big family of, and look, they're some of the nicest people you will meet. They're down to earth. It's always regarded as the sport of kings, but there is that demographic, but it's all demographics, and that's what I love about the industry. You're looking after everybody.
And people love horses. No one gets in this industry if you don't love horses.
And that's paramount, is you must love the horse. And look, I love the horse as much as most people, but there's other people that just, are completely and utterly absorbed by them. And so they should. They're one of the most beautiful animals, and as I've always said, that the thoroughbred gets looked after better than any animal by their owners.
And the Golden Slipper, we've talked about being nimble, pivoting, and it was fantastic the way that yourself and the Australian Turf Club, Racing New South Wales together moved so quickly to make sure that, okay, it's too wet today, let's come back next week, and we had an extraordinary day.
Look, it was a hard decision to make, but I think it was the right one, and that's the great thing about having a great partnership with the Metropolitan Club here, the Australian Turf Club. They're excellent partners, and when the hard decisions have to be made, they were there and supported them, and I think, looking at it now, I think it was the right decision, and I think it's worked out probably, perfectly.
And now, as we look towards the spring, will be even more normal. I know I have my fingers crossed on that, but after the pandemic, we're feeling it today, but by springtime, you would think that Boom Crash Opera with the Everest is going to be amazing.
I hope so, and I hope normality comes back to Australia. And look, we've been pretty lucky in New South Wales. The government's been fantastic. We haven't really had lockdowns. We've gone through this COVID in a very easy fashion compared to other countries around the world. So hopefully by October, if the vaccination program works, we'll get back to some normality. And one of the exciting things I'm looking forward to is the opening of the Winx stand. It's going to fit 6,000 people, and it's a public area, and it's going to be 5-star for the public, and hopefully all going to plan. And just looking at it being constructed at the moment, it'll be open on Everest Day.
It's going to be a ripper, isn't it? And thank you so much on behalf of Julie and everyone for your support of Racing Dreams. It's our 6th series and loving it.
And we're looking forward to the Everest, the road to the Everest.